Hi, Carmen Mayell here, Certified Home Loans. I am addressing my first-time home buyers today because I know you have lots of questions about where is all this going? What am I getting myself involved in? So I thought I would go ahead and just do a little screen share here with you. And I put together a document that I believe will be helpful, hopefully helpful, just an overview fashion of the entire process, both going from the point of pre-approval to closing and getting the keys on your new home. And I've interfaced it with some of the steps in the mortgage process. So let's look at it just for a moment. And we will talk about this as much as you would like, but perhaps the overview will give you an idea of how to answer some initial questions, and then we can always fill in with more detail as we go along, okay? So the first thing is pre-approval. That is so very important right there. Pre-approval is so important. That's when obviously I look at your income, your assets, that's monies for down payment and closing costs, your credit. I really do an overview on the entire loan scenario. I run it through our automated underwriting system, comes back with an approve, eligible, or accept. Now we've established your purchasing parameters. How much of a home is really the sweet spot for you in the equation, all right? So now you're ready to go out and start making offers, start looking at homes and ready for that first offer. Number two, offer. Oh, this is getting exciting. You have found the home and you go, this is the one we want. You tell that to your realtor. You go in and you talk to the realtor about, okay, what do you think we had to offer this home? It's selling for 300. Your realtor comes back and says, oh guys, we can get this for 290 all day long. All right, great. Make an offer 290. Then we start a little bit of the negotiation counteroffer process. This usually goes on for a day or two, where basically the seller comes back and goes, great, I'll take 295. How about that? You say, that sounds good to us as well, or good to me. Then now the offer has been accepted. All parties have signed, and now things get serious, folks. Here's what's going to happen. Immediately, I will get a copy from the realtor. I will update the file according to the contract, the property, the taxes, what I think the insurance might be, all that kind of stuff. I will then have it sent to the lender, who will then in turn issue initial disclosures. And they are initial. There are going to be things that will change in there. You can change the amount of down payments you want to make. Maybe you don't want to do 5, maybe you want to do 10, whatever. Insurance is going to change. We don't know exactly the cost of insurance. You're going to go find that out and find an agent, and we can surely help you with all of that. But the point is, there are going to be numbers that are going to change. But fundamentally, are these numbers correct? It's to disclose to you the basis of the file, as we've discussed. So really, it's as much, if not more, for your protection than it is for ours. Keep in mind, you are not obligated at this stage to the lender in any way, shape, or form. Until the day you sign, seriously, until the day you sign at closing, you are not obligated to the lender. Now, you may have obligations in the real estate contract. So I don't want to be confused that, but from the lender standpoint, you're not obligated to us until the day you sign. Now, file is sent to the processor for review, sending to processing for review. The disclosures you signed, now the file gets moving forward. That's usually a 48 to 72 hour period from the time I update the file to disclosures being issued, signed, and the file sent to processing. Gives you just a little bit of the time frame. Now, the first and very important part of your real estate contract is an inspection period. That is when you are going to get an inspector who is going to evaluate that home to make sure that the home you think you're getting is in fact the home you're getting and buying. And let me tell you, a good inspector is worth his or her weight in gold. I have seen some dream homes turn into nightmares because it was not a very effectively done inspection. So make sure that you take benefit of the inspection period. And that can be in your contract anywhere from, well, it can be as whatever the contract stipulates. By default, at least in the state of Florida at this time, it's 15 days. But it can be 5 days, 10 days. I've seen some 3 days if the seller's really wanting to press and move forward. But that's part of the negotiation at the outset. Now, during this period, when we're doing the inspection period, whatever that period is in your contract, the processor is going to send the file to underwriting. Then we are looking within a 2 to 5 day period of conditional loan approval. That means that there are going to be some conditions, some things the underwriter wants in addition. Maybe it's a letter of explanation. Maybe it's an updated document. Who knows? Generally, my team and I work to make sure that we have as few conditions as possible coming back in that initial or conditional loan approval. Surely one major condition is the appraisal. We don't know what the home has been appraised for yet. It hasn't been ordered. That's our next step. So the inspection, let's assume the inspection went well and you go, wow, this is a fabulous home. We're thrilled. I'm thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. Now we order the appraisal. That is the only closing cost paid outside closing. We'll pay it on a credit card. It will be reflected on the closing disclosure, but not charged again. It's part of a closing cost, so they have to disclose it, but it's paid outside of closing. POC, it will be noted, and we will now order that. During the appraisal process, which is about 7 days from start to finish, we will work to collect all final conditions. We will submit it back to underwriting, with the appraisal being the final and only remaining condition. That's usually a period of 2 to 3 day turn times, as we call it in the industry. Finally, the appraisal is received. Let's assume in this case it comes in a contract price. By the way, if it doesn't, you can negotiate that. You can, because remember, one of the key parts of the mortgage is the value of the home. That's the basis of this file. If it comes in light or less than contract price, you can say, I'm only paying the appraised value and walk away if you don't want to pay anything else. You can negotiate with a seller and say, look, we'll cut it 50-50. You might say, I love this home so much, I don't want anybody else to have it. I'll just pay their difference. So just keep in mind, the mortgage is always based on the lesser of two things, the contract price or the appraised value. Okay, so now let's assume in this case, it came in a contract price. The appraisal is reviewed by the underwriter, and soon you will have a clear to close. Those are the most beautiful words in this industry, clear to close. That means you have done everything you needed to do. Your work is finished. All you're doing now is having your sights set on that closing day. All right, within 4 days before closing, technically it's 3, but they don't count the day that the disclosure goes out, so I just call it 4. Preliminary closing disclosure will be released. The preliminary CD, that is the document that tells you what cash to close is going to be required when you get to that table. You'll get that document. I will review it with you. You will acknowledge your receipt 4 days in advance. Very important. That allows us to close on the date slated. And you will then wire your funds to the title company. You will be provided a set of wire instructions. Along with that closing disclosure, you will take it to your bank. You will verify those wire instructions. Call that title company, make sure that what you see is correct. Take it to the bank. They in turn will wire the funds to the title company, preparing for the big day, the closing day. You get there, funds are in there from the lender, funds are in there for you for your down payment, whatever else needs to be dealt with, and you, my friend, get the keys. You are now the proud owner, proud owners of a brand new home, your first home. And what a great experience that is. Many memories to come as a result, and an exciting day. Okay, hope that's been helpful. We will look forward to touching base, obviously along the path. Always know that every question you ask is important. I do this all day long, you don't. So every question is important. There's nothing here that you shouldn't understand, and I will be glad to work with you on it. Okay, Carmen Mayell here. Looking forward to this process with you, and we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot.